Hey guys, so I've been mulling over this video for quite a while. I don't typically make videos. I've got no video editing skills or software. But speaking to one of my viewers a while ago, it made me want to make this video because it helps people to understand. I hope that's the goal. Nobody else seems to be talking about this. There's a few comments here and there, but for the most part, everybody just seems to be ignoring the issue. So I'm gonna make this is sort of a personal video, but not about why I, as a streamer, decided to switch platforms. Good start. And address, hopefully, a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes in the minds of your favorite streamers. Now, let me preface this by saying that I'm a small streamer. I mean, you can look at my numbers. I'm not anywhere remotely even a medium-sized streamer. And I'm not talking for everybody when I say what I say here. I've done my best to try and get as many of the facts straight as I can, as much information as I can here, even though this is going to be fairly nutshell. But I don't claim to know more than any of the streaming platforms offer us as far as documentation goes. So, and that's limited on the best of days. This is just more of a way for me to try and throw out both sides. Well, sorry, I suppose not both sides, our side, and help you guys sort of understand in the communities what's going on for us. Now, for myself, obviously, the move back to YouTube as my primary platform, it wasn't a hard choice. I started out streaming on YouTube, and I'd always intended to go back. I had issues. It took me months to fix because YouTube support, unless you're earning money, it doesn't exist. So I had to go through videos which tended to be outdated, and it was crap. I finally got it working. I'm back on YouTube. But that wasn't good for people. I started streaming on Twitch in this process just to sort of keep my community going and growing, to make content for the people who previously watched me on YouTube and, you know, just keep my name out there. Some of the people, or rather a lot of the people that I met on Twitch in the meantime is kind of where some of the problems started to arise. I'm not going to say everybody's guilty, but they were definitely Twitch people. When I made the announcement that I would be returning to YouTube, I got pushback. My community, some of the people in my community, some, not the whole community, actually started to push back saying that they would not be supporting me on the platform. I'm not going to say the reasons. I'm not going to name, shame, or whatever else anybody. But I will say that some of those reasons, while relatively fair, there were reasons which were boggling, to say the least. Now, I thought that this may have just been me. But it turns out that while I've been talking to a lot of the VTubers in my community, some of them have had similar problems thinking about making a move. And if you actually take a look through Twitter at the moment, you'll see that a lot of people are screaming and siding with Twitch on this whole matter, which is, I don't know how anybody could do it as it stands, but it's happened. So I suppose everybody at this point's going, well, why bother making the video if the loud vocal majority, minority, I don't know who they are, the vocal group is saying, you know, Twitch, Twitch, Twitch. Well, I'm going to explain it in the hope that, you know, if you're one of those people who just aren't really sure, or you're sitting on the fence, or you're just not, I don't know, platformist, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it, what's going on? Why we're making the choices we're making, why we consider these things, and hopefully encourage you, if you are one of those people, to support us through these changes. So I'll start off with the basics that you probably all already know. The share of cash on each platform. Twitch is 50-50, 70-30 on YouTube, 95-5 on Kick. Donations on Twitch and Kick, when the system is implemented, I believe Kick is going to work the same way from everything I'm read. When you buy bits, you ultimately end up paying like a little bit of a surcharge fee or a handling fee. I don't know what Twitch calls it. And the streamer gets 100% then of whatever you get. So Twitch gets the money from you as opposed to from the streamer. Whereas on YouTube with the 70-30 split, if you do a super chat, YouTube takes the money out of that. The pay split though, even though you'll probably see a lot of it if you go looking on Twitter, is not what's caused the issue. It's always been a problem, but it's not what did it. This week, or last week rather, Twitch changed their terms of service. This impacted mostly affiliate contracts, but I think some partners were affected as well. I can't speak for the partners, I can only speak for affiliates. Twitch basically turned around and said, we don't want branded content or sponsorships taking up any more than 3% of the screen space. So, of our whole big everything here, we don't want branded content taking up any more than 3%. If you're an esports person who has 5 sponsors, that's going to be crap. That's going to kill you. So that caused a lot of backlash. And within 24 hours, they'd actually retracted that and replaced it with a different rule. They didn't actually retract it at all. They just rewrote it, saying that it now has to be put behind a branded content link. Basically, this little thing that sits up in the corner up there. So if you just open up a stream to your favorite streamer and you just listen to them, you'll never know it's there. Even if you glance at the screen, you'll probably miss it just because it's just a transparent box, you know? It's shocking. So they actually made it worse by comparison. So obviously nobody is particularly great about that, and that retraction post, quotey fingers, is actually fact checked on Twitter. Of all the things to fact check, am I right? Another change, which I'm told came in and snuck in under this sponsorship thing, was Twitch is now charging affiliates $25 US dollars to break their contract. Which is garbage because I don't ever actually remember agreeing to this new contract, but Twitch holds the rights to change them whenever they want, so fuck me, I guess. Now the worst part about this is, besides wanting to get away and not being able to without paying, is that Twitch now can dictate whether or not a streamer's content is up to their standard. And if they deem that it's not up to their standard, well, guess what? You're getting a $25 bill. Now, normally I wouldn't think too heavily about stuff like that, but given Twitch is weak, I'm not gonna rule that out. Twitch has been really, really crappy. So that's something that sort of weighs in on people's minds. Lastly, the last introduction was actually, I believe that simulcasting was shit-canned entirely. It was already kind of in the contractual agreement saying that Twitch had exclusivity over your content for 24 hours. I don't actually think there was a line relating to simulcasting exactly, but you couldn't do it anyway because Twitch exclusivity. So it's more of a clarification, but it was something else that was apparently snuck in. Now, I can't get old contracts, so I don't know exactly what the changes were. I tried. Unfortunately, there were no actual back search pages, you know. I know what I'm talking about anyway. So, with all these being able to be changed, and modified, tweaked, whatever, at Twitch's immediate notice. A lot of the small streamers with these huge changes have just turned around and gone, well, shit, this isn't really very good. It makes streamers very uncomfortable. It makes streamers very uncertain about their future, because, you know, viewership numbers can change overnight. We rely on people living fairly constant lives, you know. If a whole bunch of our viewership, say, I don't know, switch from day shift to night shift, that can knock out that whole section of our viewership because, you know, maybe they won't pay followers, subscriptions or whatever anymore. You know, it's a pretty precarious hill that we sit on. But with Twitch actually trying to yank the rug out from underneath us, makes it worse. That wasn't it, though, for Twitch this week, with two other things coming up. The first, people in the UK started saying that there was an error with their pay, and they weren't getting paid as much as they should be. It turns out, and I don't know if this is exclusive to the UK or if it actually is somewhere else, but people in the UK found out that Twitch had been taking 70% of their earnings and not the labeled 50. Not only did Twitch admit to this fact, but wouldn't you know it, they wouldn't pay people back what they owed. Thanks, Twitch. So obviously that's good for business. Everybody loves it when they say, yes, we're owed money, but you're not getting it back. Second big thing was that Twitch actually then released a Partners Plus program with the 70-30 split that everybody had been wanting. However, they then went on to say, yes, but we have some conditions. And essentially, only the top 1% of the top 1% can actually meet these conditions. So, good times, good times. To viewers, I can kind of see how you guys are sitting there going, well, look at you, you greedy pricks. One of the biggest streamers that I know, Bao, was actually called out for being a greedy prick. Which I see it, don't get me wrong, because the dollar sign is constantly being waved around. But at the same time, it's not about greed. Well, on our end, I should say. I can't speak for Twitch, who certainly seems to be happy with stealing money from people. For us, it's about integrity. There's no integrity anymore. Twitch is just doing whatever they want. And as I said, it doesn't take much for a streamer's income to be turned on its head. For me personally, the change to move away from Twitch entirely was morality. I can't deal with a company that acts and operates the way they have. They've been incredibly dishonest. They've been trying to hide everything they've done. They're taking money from people. It's just, how do I know the next change isn't gonna, take another dive into my pockets, for example? And I don't earn a lot. Streaming is certainly not my income. For everyone else, from what I've seen, the dishonesty is what killed them. Greed is also another thing that sort of pushes people away. It's immoral, as I said, and a lot of people just take great offense to that. A smaller group, though, do actually feel like they can get a better chance on Kick, and, I'm all for that. Hey ho, go for your life. It's a new platform, less big streamers on it, although Kick has been lapping them up lately. So they feel like they have a better start there. And, I mean, that's entirely fair. You got to look after you, am I right? Or, in some cases, I have a few friends who do ASMR videos. They kind of want to make a more solid change to YouTube because YouTube obviously archives videos indefinitely. At the end of the day, all of us streamers, we're trying our best to do what's going to give you guys the best content. At the moment, though, if the platform we're on is just being intentionally deceptive, it causes stress. You know, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's happening. We're constantly being lied to. And that takes a huge toll on us. Like, the stress is real. I've had one friend in particular just throw in the towel altogether just due to the stress of life and everything that's going on. I've got another friend who is just pulling his hair out over it. It's bad times. And then you compound that with our community members turning around to us and saying, well, I'm not going to support you if you go there. I mean, that's just a nail in the heart. Especially if it's somebody that you've seen for a long time in your Twitch chat, and they just come out of the blue and say, if you do that, I'm not going to support you anymore. It's just, you know, it rips your heart out. You feel. So at the end of all this, now that I've crapped on for long enough, what I'm trying to get at is, just please be patient with us. The vast majority of us, as I said, we want to look after our communities. We love our communities, and we try to look after them as best as we can. Unfortunately, in this instance, it's led to a lot of us considering platform changes. I'm sure we're all aware that it's a huge inconvenience to you guys. You've got to make new accounts. I can't entirely recall what the kick process was, but it's inconvenient anyway. I'm not going to ever tell anybody making a new account somewhere else isn't. There's obviously the complaints we heard, like I mentioned earlier, but didn't go into. There's those complaints that people have. A lot of people take umbrage to Kick being a platform of gamblers. I've seen a lot of misinformation about the Kick community being toxic. I mean, it's no more toxic than any other community. Certainly no Halo lobby. But these things, and us knowing that these are issues that are going to arise, this causes a huge amount of stress. We lose sleep over it. Because we're just trying to look out what's best for you guys as well as ourselves. We want you to just come in, relax, laugh, have fun, do whatever it is that you do tune into your streamer for, you know? It's not something we do to be vindictive or malicious or difficult. It's just us trying to look out for, you know, what's in our best interests, unfortunately, to continue providing you guys with content. I'm sure nobody expects you guys, if we've got content that goes out on, say, Kick, YouTube, and Twitch, or multiple platforms, I'm sure none of us expect anybody to have, like, multiple subscriptions. But I'm nearly 100% confident that we'd all just be happy if you guys come in, continue to support us, chat, lurk, whatever it is you do. That's all any of us really appreciate. So yeah, just please be patient with us. We're doing our best. At the end of all of this, though, to everybody in my community who has supported my move, thank you guys. Really, thank you. Seeing you guys all just talking the same crap that you've always talked when my stream starts up, bickering over things that I won't go too much into, I appreciate that so much. I'll never be able to express how much I appreciate it. And for every other streamer who has made the change and their communities have followed them, you know what? I'm sure they feel exactly the same. So for everyone on both sides, communities and streamers, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, try to be understanding and patient with us, and be safe.